going on?
What's that?
It's got some Chinese writing on it. Let's go see
When
what
did you
it
order
is.
that?
Well, let's think about it. I think about a month ago, 2 months ago.
What is it? I don't remember you ordering.
So this is a 1500 kilowatt laser that we ordered from China, and we'll see how it does. It's full of Chinese writing, so we'll see if they hold up to what they say.
They make some alright stuff, you know.
It's the one you see the guy on YouTube just blasting stuff with, you know. Maybe we'll do some tree landscaping with it. There it is. Got all its stuff in it. Foam, yeah, there's the panel. It's kind of how it's gonna look when you get it, it'll be all there. Looks like we got a bag of stuff, which I don't quite know what it is.
What's in there?
Never seen a bag like that. Look at that. These look to be lenses. I do have the lenses. They shipped the lenses separately. They came about a month and a half ago. Look at that. So we got stuff for
I
tips.
got the shades.
Are those the shades? Let's see.
Throw them on.
Let's take a look. I don't think these are the shades. They're wrapped, but those are the shades. So instead of trying to shimmy it off, we'll just roll it off. But try not to send it across the parking lot. Build quality, actually, you know what? It's painted really well. There's no like of those odd like kind of.
It looks really good
Yeah,
for what
no,
it is.
It is put together really nice. So it looks like we have, first of all, start going through it a little bit. Now that is the most interesting welder, laser blaster, whatever I've seen
a gun.
ever. It is
Holy.
literally a gun, and it's billet. Look at that. It's actually machined.
Wow.
They
Check
machined
that
that
out.
all out. Looks like something from like a doctor's office. So we just noticed when we were taking this thing out, it's a huge, I don't know what you'd call this. I mean, you can't really
It's
call
a
it electric.
fiber optic line, I'm pretty sure.
Fiber optic, like it's, how long would you say that is? It's 20
Oh, man.
feet, 23 feet. Like,
That's the machine there.
that's perfect. Yeah, it's the length of a 67 Camaro, so there you go. So on top here, we have a transformer power supply. Takes 120, puts to the 220. And the output goes to a kind of a power bank. So it looks like they have 10 amp, 16 amp marked. And I think we're gonna connect up. I see outlets here for appliances in the machine. Okay, so we got everything pulled apart here. I wanna come on down to this side. So you can see all the internals here. And so first of all, looks like we got the laser here. And you can see there's an inlet and an outlet. It has a little bit of water in it. That's a cooling system. So this is a liquid cooled laser. And to do that, it looks like they've got an AC with a full compressor and everything that runs on, and it's got its heat exchangers here. So, and then up front here we notice.
That's interesting. Hey, look at that. The rad's kind of beat up on the heat exchanger.
Yes, you're right.
Huh.
noticed that.
So
It is a brand new unit, so it's interesting to see that.
maybe that's just manufacturing. We can probably straighten those fins.
Sure we could. The fan, cool the condenser and the heat exchanger. It's hard to trust that small of plastic it says 16 amps at 220.
250. Actually, read it.
250. Well, that's what the plugs are rated to, but I think it's 220. It came with a transformer to step up the voltage from North American 120 to 220. I think what we'll do here is, because our shop is full of welder's plugs, we're going to change this out to an official, like a welder's plug for 220. That way it's safe and there's no issues with overheating or fire. and this might be fused, so it might blow the fuse in this, because I think it is. Yeah, it says it's maxing out at 16 amps, so already maxing this thing out, so I'm not sure about trusting that. Okay, so inside the wire feed here, we got, this looks to be the cable that you feed the wire through, and that connects up front here. This is the, yeah, so that's that same cable.
Yeah, you can see
There
it
it is.
matches.
So that would connect up to this cable on the machine here. And we have the wire feeder here. So it's like a standard welded wire feeder, and a spool goes here. It's got a display on the front. We haven't powered it on yet. Might power it on a little bit here. But we'll leave everything in here. We haven't set it up. Nice door on the side. Build quality's pretty good. This is where I began and this is where I ended. So these are my, you could say, from the gun to the steel I was cleaning the distance. So this was the farthest and this was the closest. You can see as it goes closer, it tends to etch deeper. So it's very interesting, and also your patterns change a lot. So it goes to show, I'd say this is the best. This is etching deep. It's actually not cleaning that well at that point. So that's about the best, and that was about that far. We're gonna see if this thing will clean right through to the steel. We'll prime it, we'll paint it, we'll show the results, see if we can paint match it to the original truck color. It's kind of a funny area, so we'll see how that does. So we'll go a little farther away. Oh. Okay, we just did a big shot there. Let's take a look. See what we did. It's pretty hot.
Might put a hole through it.
Yeah, it's not chewing through correctly.
Here's a cloth.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh. It's reaching. Hang on. There you go. Feather the edges. Yeah, just filming. It's hot still.
working good. Yep. It's working good. Getting a little paint. Not much I can do about it. Here we go again. Gotta try to be accurate. I'm going into the edges of the paint because if there's any rust underneath it. Works great. 500 is more than plenty. It might be a little hot actually.
What, turned down?
I think we might be melting.
Yeah, is it starting to work?
No, not warping.
What's it doing? Cutting in?
Yeah, it's looking like little weld marks. Little bits at a time.
So just as a test on the body panel, we just used it on the roof of our Duramax. Had a little rust spot here all the way up the line, and this will total the truck if we don't fix it. Look at that. That was 400 watts, about 10 inches away with really thin sweep setting. Totally cleaned it up. We're gonna sand it, paint it, prime it. Should work.
We have a set of pliers here that are quite rusted, and a chain. This is off of a. This chain was immersed in water for a long time, so it is stiff as a bar. It will not bend. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use around 300 watts, and we're gonna try the pliers first and see how it all does, and then after we'll do this chain. This is a forklift leaf chain, so the goal is we're gonna make it. It doesn't bend right now, so we're gonna see if we can possibly get it to move and become flexible again, and that will just show the capabilities of this. This is the after shot of the pliers at 300 watts. You can see that they cleaned up quite nicely. There isn't no etching. For this section of the pliers, we're going to change the beam width to 10 millimeters. This will allow us to get closer without getting the gun being too close and causing etching into the steel.
This.
now we're going to change the watts to 1,000 to do this part of the chain. And the bandwidth we're going to still keep at 10 millimeters because the chain is about 10 millimeters. We can use it, it's more manageable with the shorter beam width and higher power. We'll see if we can get this chain moving. Stretch of leaf chain was cleaned with the rust removal, and this section is before without any cleaning, and this chain was stiff and would not move at all, and now this section here, which was cleaned, can move freely. After a month of using the machine, here are some example pieces. This piece was done about a month ago, and it was primered after cleaning, so that's why there's a lot of black on this pin. Now, and as you can see, a little bit of surface rust occurring. That's where the primer didn't quite reach. This second piece here was done at the same time, about a month ago, but the only thing with it is it wasn't primered. So you can see that the surface rust began surface rusting right after. Now that just goes to show how well this thing cleans, just because if it wasn't cleaned very well, this surface rust wouldn't have occurred this quickly. So we'll move those aside. Over here is a few issues we ran into along the way. And in this case, this is the old original gun that came with the machine. And after having a few problems, which you can sort of see here, we'll go into it in depth in another video, and talking with support over in China, we did get the machine all figured out and all the problems resolved. We'll go through that in a separate video. We'll talk about settings, what happened here with the temperature problems, cooling, the laser beam width, and all these parameters we'll discuss in a separate video. But as for the performance of overall in 1 month, the machine performed very well. It seemed to clean every part we threw at it. We tried it on all sorts of different materials and different scenarios with rust, and overall it performed exactly as it said it would.